Today we're doing the last of the winter sets I'm doing this year. I'm really pleased with how this set came out. And off we go. This one is going to be done by layering several different techniques. And I'll tell you at the outset, it took me 4 hours and 15 minutes to do this. Now, I think if I wasn't working on my own nails, if I was doing it on press-ons, I could have shaved off some of that time. Because as you'll see, the ombres were kind of a pain in the butt to be doing on my own fingers. But we're starting off, just starting off with these two because they're just getting these, the straight polish on them. But today we're using Makartt and Beetles. That pale blue is the Makartt. I need to see if I can get a full-size bottle of it because I really love that color blue, and I just had a tiny sample bottle, so it's not, and I've used it lots of times and it's going to run out on me. Anyway, starting on the ombre, we're going in with the darkest at the top. And then the blue I just used, oh well, I gotta get this other one. Now I did my nails, let's see, Tuesday, 3 days ago now, and I still have red and itchy around my fingers because of not being able to have gloves on. And as you're going to see with the ombre, I'm going to be slopping a lot of gel polish on there, which is not good for me. If you have the liquid latex, this is the perfect time to use it. I don't have any of it. I was too cheap to buy it. What I used to use before was just Elmer's glue, your white glue, and just spread that around there. You wait for it to dry all the way. It basically works the same way as the liquid latex. It's not as convenient, and it doesn't always peel off like in one piece like the other stuff. You may have to pick at it to get it all off. Now, anyways, I'm going to be using my wispy cheapo ombre brush for this, and this is where the sloppage happens. Plus, it's very awkward trying to do this on your own hands. So every time you see me reaching across, and I tried to edit most of that out, but every time I'm doing that is when I'm wiping off my brush and or cleaning it, depending on what I'm doing. See, I'm trying to find an angle where I can do this properly, and it's just not working very well. Okay, I'm not going to stress out too much about this ombre because, frankly, you're not going to see most of it. And secondly, we're going to be putting matte top coat over it, so that is going to soften it a bit and make it just look better. But as per usual with the ombres, we're just going to go back and forth until I'm somewhat happy with what I've got going there. I have sped this up, obviously. I mean, you can tell, I think, but because I did spend quite a bit of time doing these. Why, I don't know. I really didn't need to be that thorough with them. Plus, this is only the first coat. There's going to be 2 coats, or we have to do all of it again. Now, when I did the other hand, I did switch back to my regular old kind of ombre brush. That's the heavier one, because I was having issues trying to get a blend going with this wispy one when I had to do it with my offhand. So what I ended up doing was using the old ombre brush first, and then I went over it with the wispy one to give it a little bit better blend. But I was getting a lot of stripy looking stuff. Okay, now don't forget, if you don't put barrier on there, you're gonna have to clean up before you cure it. don't forget, because you get into what you're doing on the nail, and then you just, okay, it's time to cure, and you pop it in there, and then you're like, oh crap, I forgot to clean them off. And once it cures on there, it's infinitely harder to get it off. At least for me, I end up having to get my cuticle pusher and scrape it off, and that does not do very well for my fingers. Okay, those have been cured now. We're going in for the second time, second coat, same as the first. Now, I will be, after I get the ombres done on these, I will be going back with the second coat on those other two over there. I don't know why I did those two first and then last time and then cured and then went back for the ombre. I could have just done them at the end like I'm going to do on this one. But oh well. There's a hair. There's going to be a few of those in here. I had a lot of hair situation this time again. There was a hair on that other one. Alright, and we're going to go back to blending. Blend, blend, blend. You know, pay no attention to my raggedy cuticles either. I am just terrible at, I don't damage them with the e-file anymore, but when I'm using the hand file, it seems like I always manage to at least get one or two where I've gone over onto there, and yeah, well. And we're just going to keep blending, blending, blending. Now see how it's kind of getting stripy looking? I was not excited about having it look like that, but in the end it didn't really matter because, like I said, you're not going to see about 80% of it. I could get the dark and the medium to blend really well, but getting the medium and the light to blend was a different story. Plus, I can't get a good, I can't get a good thing going straight across because of the angle I have to hold my hand, and it's just an awkward mess. This is why I really like doing press-ons. At some point, I'm probably going to give up my poly gels and just do press-ons for myself because it's just going to be easier, but for now I'm going to carry on with them. And blending, blending, blending still. While we're just doing this, I will let you guys know I got my website. It's back up. I fully got all my backlog of nail sets into there now, so it's good to go. If you guys want to pop in there and check it out, I would love some feedback on it. Let me know what you think. There may still be things that we need to tweak in there. So, I could use the feedback. The website is Carlene's Creation 60.com. It'll be in the description. Okay, I want to cure those now. And now we're going to move on to, what are we doing with this? I forgot now. Oh, I know. Okay. All right. Oh, my brain. Okay. We are using the white gel paint, and what we're going to do is put like a little frosty kind of fade, I guess you call it, on them. Now that's just a cheap makeup sponge I got from the dollar store. I pulled a little chunk of it off. I bought a pack of those, all different shapes and sizes sponges, probably like maybe 3 years ago, and I barely made a dent in it. So it's a good place to get stuff like that. It's super cheap. And we're just going to pick up some of the paint on the sponge, and then I'm going to just dab it on, mainly at the bottom, but then I'm going to go up the side edges just a little bit. This also will help the ombre to look more blended. And you just keep going with it until you're happy with how it looks. This is the second technique of the several layers of stuff we're going to be doing. First we had the ombre, then we're going in with this. There, I see I flipped it over because I got some up there where I didn't really want it. So that's just a little easy way to clean up some of it. You don't, if you get it too much on some spot. And dab your ends too, so you've got you don't have a bright blue nail down there where you've got snowy stuff. And there's a little bit too much there. Dab that off. This is going to give stuff a more frosty look, I think. Okay, and then also I don't want these other ones to be real like bright, like solidly colored, so I'm going to put some all around the edge of this one, all the way around. I'm going to leave the middle plain because we're going to be putting crystals there, but the rest of it I'm going to go in with this and just give it some frosty stuff around the edge. And there's more sloppage of gel stuff on my fingers. And I may have to go ahead and invest in the liquid latex. Hey, and then I decided I'm going to just put some on this one too. Originally I wasn't going to, but like, for the sake of keeping them all some kind of uniformity. Okay, I hope you can't hear my computer. It's making a lot of noise right now. It's on its last legs. Okay, I think we're just about happy with that. And I will clean those up and go ahead and cure when I'm done playing around here. A little bit of cleanup. At least this came off much easier than the blue ombre stuff. And it's just alcohol on my brush for cleanup. And not too much on those. Okay, then we're ready to cure, I think. There's what we have so far. Okay, now we're going to move on to the stickers. This is a winter set that I got off of, I'm pretty sure it was Amazon. It could have been Ally, but I'm pretty sure it was Amazon. And we're just going to go ahead and start putting some trees on here. I kind of had this planned out to a degree in my head, so there shouldn't be too much indecision sitting here deciding what I'm going to do. But this using the stickers saves a lot of time. I mean, I probably could have painted the trees myself. I think I could have managed that. But I know for sure I couldn't paint the deer. So this is one way to get around. You want a nice hand-painted, detailed design, but you're not good at hand painting like I'm not. Then this is one way to get around that. You can also use decals, stamping, foils. There's all kinds of things you can use to get you some nice designs on there without having to hand paint. That one wasn't too sure it was stuck all the way down. I'm going to carry on. And I had decided to use that particular deer. Oh dear, he almost got away. Okay, I wanted to get him on there in a place that looks like he was eating stuff off the tree. Okay, now we've got a tree on there, we got a deer. And the other one's got a couple trees. I think I decided that needed to have another tree on that middle finger. I think that's what I'm doing right now, is deciding which one I want to put on there. I didn't want another deer on there, so I was looking for a smallish tree to put on there closer to the front. And eventually I'm going to decide on something and go with it, hopefully. Now, obviously, I didn't speed up this section so you could see better, but I probably could have. Okay, here we go. Right down here closer to the front. And there's more hair, of course. Okay. Now moving on to the pinky, I'm just going to put one of the deer heads on there. That guy right there. Now I don't know what brand these stickers are, I don't remember. Usually I save the part of the wrapping, the packaging, so I can tell you at least what brand they are, but I didn't do it with this one, so it might not have had any. It might just come in a clear, a clear sheet of stuff. And then I decided after that I'm going to put a couple of those little snowflakes on the pinky nail also. See, there's other animals in this set. There's some bears, a fox. What else am I seeing there? I wanted to keep this all uniform with the deer though, so that's why we didn't use the other ones. Okay, and I believe I'm happy with that. And I will go and do the, oh wait, no, we gotta do the thumb. I think we got the thumb to do. I think I showed that one. Yep, we're moving on to the thumb. Now on the thumb, I'm going to use one of these little mountains. And you can see why I wasn't so stressed out about the ombres not looking real great. Because, as I said, you're not going to see most of them, or most of it. Or with the stickers disguising part of it, can't see a lot of the parts that doesn't make it look nice. Okay, we got a nice tall tree on there since we have more room. And then we will do a little slightly smaller one on the other side. Maybe I can get it off of there. And once again, trying to work on my own hand, creating some awkward stuff. Now that one was slightly off the edge, so I did nip off that little piece that's overhanging. And then we need a deer on here. So I'm trying to now figure out which way I want him to be facing. Okay, I think we're good now. I think we're moving on. There's what we got so far. And now we're top coating. And this is a matte top coat. Obviously, you can see I've sped this part up. At the end of this, right before I put it into cure, oh, another hair, you'll see what they would look like if you left them shiny. Personally, I don't think this would look as nice shiny. I think it looks much better matted. It's going to make all that stuff blend together very smoothly. And don't forget to cap your ends and make sure you get all the way up to there where all the polish is, because there was a couple I didn't quite get all the way up to the cuticle edge, and I had to go back and top coat those because after I cured I had a shiny bit at the top. Okay, there's the shiny look, and now we have cured them and we've moved on. Just like that. Okay, now we're back to using the white gel paint. I've got out a fairly small dotting tool, and we're just going to put some little snowy dots. We're going to do a starburst, and then we're going to do some just little random snowy dots. I don't know if they're supposed to be dot snow or stars. Take your pick. Some of them are a bit big to be stars, but okay. Now you guys have seen me do this a lot lately, but here we go again. We've got a clean brush, no paint on it. We're just going to drag paint out from the dot for in all four compass directions. Now normally you're going to do that in one swipe. I didn't have that much extra paint in the dot for me to drag stuff out of, so I had to go over it a couple times. But once again, this is the awkwardness of working on my own hand. Okay, and then we're going to do the exact same thing on this one. And I decided that would need to have a little bit more so I could have stuff to drag out of there. And then our other little dots here and there. And I'm cleaning off my brush, and we're going to start with a clean brush again. I have to watch out for the other one because it's not cured yet. I'm not flipping anybody off. I'm just trying to keep it out of the way. And once I get this on, we're going to go ahead and cure those before we move on to the next step. Okay, now I have cured that. And the next step is going to be putting the snowy bits onto the trees. Now I cured those other parts because with the tree snow stuff, we're going to be using embossing powder to give the snow a little tiny bit of sparkle. So I didn't want that on the sky stuff, the stars and stuff. I didn't want that to have the snowy stuff on it. If you guys get what I mean, you'll see. Now I'm kind of using the tree branches that were from the sticker tree, And I'm kind of using that as a guide to just do some squiggly little bits of snowy stuff on there, for lack of a better word. You guys like my technical terms. I tried to follow along with the branches, but frankly, I couldn't see some of them very well. So on some of these, I just kind of wing it. Now we want these to be a little on the thicker side, so they have a little bit of weight to them, so they can hold on to the embossing powder. Now, considering I don't live any place where there's snow, and I very rarely have ever been in the snow, I'm just kind of assuming this is how the trees are going to be, because I don't know for sure. But you really don't need any like special painting skills for this part, because you're just making these little squiggly bits on there. Pretty much, I would say the hardest part of this whole set is the ombre. So if you can do that, which shouldn't be that difficult, then you should be able to do the rest of this no problem. And then at the end, you'll have a nice detailed set that looks like he's put in a way a lot more time on it. Okay, at the bottom of the tree, I'm just doing a little like curvy snow drift where I believe the snow would kind of like pile up. And then we got that little tiny tree in the front. This is a case of if you're having a shaky hand day, it's not so bad because you're just doing these squiggly little lines. And then I am going to do a couple of just random snowdrift parts on here. A little divot around the bottom of that one. And I'm out of shot, but you'll see it in a minute, I think. And it's barely in the shot over there either. But I'm just doing some random snowdrift stuff. Easy peasy. But you can see just adding the snow on there like that really gives them a nicer, like, finished kind of, what am I trying to say here? A more sophisticated look, I think. I think I'm happy with that. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one where we're going to do the exact same thing. This one only has one tree though. And I think I sped this part up now because it's pretty much you're going to see me doing the same thing. You've already seen me do one, so okay, we don't want to cover over where the deer head is, so we got to be careful down here. And then I decided it was too bare on that side, so I just decided there's no tree sticker there, but we're going to wing it and just kind of paint in the snowy bits to a tree as if there is one there. And right around the hooves, I'm going to do these little divot marks. Don't pay any attention to my dirty hand either. anyways, and then I decided to do just the thinnest little line, white line on the back to help him stand out a bit. Okay, now we're going to add the embossing powder. This came from Michael's, and it was in the scrapbook section. Okay, so this is what, oh shoot, hold on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, my phone rang and I had to get that. But we're just going to go in with the embossing powder. Now this is why I cured the stuff in the sky first, because I did not want the embossing powder to be on there. I just wanted it on the snowy bits. And I'm going to cure that now for 2 minutes, which is a double cure. And there it is out, and I have brushed it off, and that's what we're left with. Looks pretty good, I think. And it's pretty easy. Okay, now I believe I did the rest of them off camera. And I did, so now we are moving on to the last step, which are the crystals on the ring finger. And we're going to be using those little rings, and we got a dark blue and a medium blue crystal, of course caviar beads, and the gem glue. So I'm just going to start off a couple of circles where those little rings are going to go. And in the middle of the ring, we're going to put one of the dark blue on each one. I don't know what size these crystals are, but they fit in these little rings perfectly. So you just saw me do those also on the last set of my Christmas nails, which were the purple ornaments. You can also, if you don't have crystals that fit, you can also use glitter gel, glitter polish, which is, I also did some of that on that last ornament set. Now, I did not have a plan for this when I started this with the crystals, so I'm just kind of winging it, deciding what I'm going to do as I'm going along. Now, you could cure it at this point, so everything's going to be nice and still, and you don't have to worry about anything moving. I did not. I just did all of it in one go. So I would have applied glue to a good portion of that center section if I had known what I was going to do exactly, instead of having to keep going in with extra glue here and there. But anyways, I'm going in with the medium blue, slightly smaller ones now next to the two end bits. Most of these outer ones are going to be the medium blue ones. Okay, and now where those gaps are, I'm going to go in with a dark blue as soon as I get some glue in there. And one more. Okay, now I'm just going to move these around and kind of even them out. Make sure everything is where I want it to be. And you see how the whole thing moves, so you have to be kind of careful. Okay, now we're ready for the caviar beads. First thing I'm going to do is go around, and in between each crystal I'm going to put a little dot of blue. I believe I sped this part up. And I'm going to use not the smallest ones, but the next size up. A few of those I'm going to put like kind of where the four corners are, like in between that light blue and dark blue near the top and bottom end. That one does not want to come off. Okay, then we're going to switch back to, oh, no we're not. I was going to put some more of those, I changed my mind. And I started off with just one of those on the end. I'm going to add some more to that later, but now we've moved on to the teeny tiniest ones. And I'm going to put those in between all the rest of the crystals now. That one did not want to come apart. Time to operate. Boop, there we go. And in we go with those. Now, when I get down to the top and bottom edge where I stuck that one kind of bigger one, I wanted to have a triangle-y bit there. So what I am going to be doing is grabbing some more, well, a little bit of glue first of all, but then I'm going to get the bigger ones again. Because I'm going to have two bigger ones, and then the pointy bit will be a small one. So we end up with a triangle, like so. And then I'm just going to go around and make sure everything's tucked up in there nicely. All the caviar beads are nicely tucked between the crystals and everything is nice and straight. Then we're curing. I'm going to cure for 90 seconds. Probably a minute will do, but I like to be sure. Now I'm going in again with my top coat to clean up this gluey mess that I now have. So I'm just going to butt that up against the edge of there. In this case, since I'm using matte top, I don't want to get any of it on the caviar beads either because it's going to make them not shiny. And now we're cleaning up the sloppage of top coat that I've gotten around there. Then I'm going to cure that again. And here we are, all done. I'm pretty happy with this set. Like I said, if you're happy with this set, please give me a like. I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And I upload new video every Saturday. And thank you very much for watching my videos. It really means a lot to me. And here's the picture for the end. And we'll have one more shot of the thumb, and that's it. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.